Hey everybody, my name is Chad Booksam with Alternative Media Television. Now, a top CIA official on the Korean Peninsula has warned us that Columbus Day, October 9th, that the North Korean regime is going to have a huge provocation. Now, this is always normal when it comes to Kim Jong-un, when it comes to North Korea, because October 9th is a big anniversary for Pyongyang. But something different that the CIA official was discussing is the fact that they have given up on China's support, that the North Korean regime, Kim Jong-un especially, doesn't care or isn't concerned anymore regarding China's support for the Hermit Kingdom. Now, this is huge because China is the life support, basically, when it comes to trade and the resources going into North Korea. And Kim Jong-un stating this, we're not having concern. On top of that, not having concern if the U.S. military is going to strike this regime. Now, also, we have to keep in mind that North Korea, look, these authoritarians, look, they're conservative in the way where they want to conserve their life. You know, Kim Jong-un, he gets everything he wants. You know, he eats like a king. That's why he's the only fat kid in North Korea. And they want that to last. They want to die in their own bed. They don't want to end up like Muammar Gaddafi, like Saddam Hussein. So even though these provocations in the past have pushed the buttons of the United States military-industrial complex, Kim Jong-un knows his limits to the extent where, look, I'm not going to be able to survive if I do certain things. Now, what this CIA official is doing and is saying, the CIA official on the Korean Peninsula, he's on the ground, is saying that Kim Jong-un no longer has these concerns. And on Columbus Day, October 9th this year, there's going to be a huge provocation. Now, on top of that, I want to speak about our advancements in other regions. Now, let's take a look. About a week or two ago, the real reason why General Mattis went to India. He is securing allies because we're not just on the brink of World War III. We are in it. It's not the peak of it now, but the premise and the foundation and the chessboard is playing out. Now, we need India secured as an ally because just as we've seen in the past couple of days, first there was these joint military exercises between Russia and China. Now we have joint military exercises between Russia and Pakistan, which is right next to India. Right now, Russia and Pakistan, which obviously has a huge nuclear arsenal, Pakistan, is doing joint military exercises, preparing for World War III, and will back Russia and China and the BRICS nations when World War III breaks out. General Mattis went to India, okay, in order to secure our ally in that region, to fight back against Pakistan. This is a huge threat across the board. Let's think about this. We have worldwide countries taking sides. People are on teams. They've taken their teams, whether it's Saudi Arabia on our side in the Middle East or Iran on Russia and China's side in the Middle East. Now, on top of that, Iran, there's been reports that they've been launching ballistic missiles. Look, we know their ballistic missile program is highly advanced, and we know we've heard reports that they're working with North Korea on their ballistic missile program. What gives me a cause for concern is how Israel is eerily quiet. I mean, they've done some pinpointed strikes in Syria here and there, but they haven't really gotten involved. And in the Middle East, that is going to be one of the top fronts. That is going to be one of the most vicious fronts in World War III, where you have Israel, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and obviously proxies of Russia and Russia itself. They're already stationed in Syria, and the Syria regime isn't falling. The Bashar al-Assad regime isn't going to fall anytime soon. So Russia has placed their influence throughout the region. They have their allies in that region. Now look, regardless of what China says in public, they really don't want the West on their doorstep, which would happen if the North Korea regime gets wiped out. Now, they might not receive, North Korea might not be receiving the kind of support that they want from China, that full-fledged support, but at the same time, China does not want the West at their doorstep. And if they are attacked preemptively, if North Korea is attacked preemptively, China has stated in the past that they will react. That is a declaration of war. So let's look at October 9th and what will North Korea do? We have been waiting for this justification. I believe Donald Trump is done with diplomacy. I believe, you see through his tweets saying, hey, Rex, the Secretary of State for the U.S., hey, Rex, enough of the negotiations. Little Rocket Man isn't going to listen. Let us take care of it. That is war talk. Now, is it going to go beyond this rough talk? I mean, we've seen this in the past. But I truly believe that I think that they are draining diplomacy as quickly as possible in order to get to that justification. I feel that after all these extra sanctions that were put on North Korea, that China signed off on, maybe North Korea is saying, you know what, screw China, screw everybody, and we have to do what's best for ourselves, and I'm not going to wait to get bombed and hung out in the street like Muammar Gaddafi, and we're going to prep for war. Because sometimes war is inevitable, right? I mean, look at World War II. Sometimes war is inevitable, no matter what happens. Maybe the only thing that's in the way is time. How quickly will it happen? Now, do we still need that Pearl Harbor moment? For public support, absolutely. For the United States, for American citizens to say, you know what, let's send our sons and daughters into this war, there needs to be a Pearl Harbor moment. You're not going to receive justification just from threats from this crazy kid in North Korea. There has to be legitimate justification, and that could happen. The only concern I have is the CIA and the deep state might falsify this justification. We can't trust these deep state organizations. I mean, how can we trust these deep state organizations? So, okay, right now you have CIA saying, look, there's going to be a big provocation from North Korea, from Kim Jong-un on October 9th. But what do we know besides what they're telling us? And unless you see bodies on the ground, unless you see a population of civilians bombed by North Korea, what kind of support are you going to get from the American people? Because I don't care what the case is. This isn't going to represent American interests. We have our own issues in this country. I mean, look at all these natural disasters. We're about to get hit with another hurricane here in Florida, it seems. Look at all the earthquakes. Look at all the wildfires. And American interests aren't represented in our own country, so what justification do we have to go and fight a war that isn't going to benefit the American people unless the mainstream media puts on these images, reflects these images of an attack by the North Korean regime or a false flag? You show bloody bodies, you show that emotional support occurs. That is the only thing that can draw in the American citizenship. And that is my fear, that Pearl Harbor moment, and that's what we've been speaking about for a long, long time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Chad. This is AMTV, hard hitting it in your face. I'll be back soon.
Hey folks, in light of the recent tragic shooting in Las Vegas, of which it was the worst shooting on American soil in American history, targeting conservatives at a country rock concert, mostly conservatives, I've decided to drop the pricing on all AMTV emergency kits an additional 5%. So now it's 15% off all of AMTV's emergency survival kits. As we pointed out earlier, I can't think of a better time that you should buy one of these, buy two, give it out to your friends and family, keep it in your vehicles, keep it at your place of business. Got everything you need for survival, treats wounds, has a medical kit inside, food and water for multiple days. And again, 15% off, limited time, supports us, supports the truth, and without it, we cannot survive. So get something you need, support the cause, and again, for a limited time, get 15% off all AMTV emergency kits while supplies last. Thank you and God bless.